Hey hustlers, Miles here. In this video today, I want to discuss why I feel like building a business on Etsy is such a massive opportunity for those that take the leap. 6 years ago, I would have honestly never believed that I would be in the position I am today. For those of you who don't know my story, I was actually deep in debt, and there was actually a point where I was almost homeless. And, at that time, I would have been over the moon just to make, an extra, a few $100, $100 a month, just to kind of ease the pressure that I was feeling at the time. Pressure from, constantly, falling behind on some sort of payment or bill. I would have never have thought at that time I could be working for myself from home, and that I would have built up a, profitable business online has generated me just under $300,000 in revenue in the last 12 months on Etsy, of all places. I'd never even heard of Etsy at that time. I'm so grateful that, I'm not in that position I was back then anymore, and, I'm far from it now. And, Etsy has played a huge part in getting to where I am today. I honestly, truly believe that building a brand on Etsy using print-on-demand products is one of the best opportunities for people who want to build a successful business online right now. I've literally been overwhelmed with the amount of messages and emails I've received since I started the channel, and the awesome people and students I've had the chance to work with. Honestly, when I first started the channel, it was really just a way for me to document my progress and hopefully inspire and help some other people that do the same. But then I started to get loads and loads of messages from people from all around the world who was enjoying the content and getting results on Etsy. It's absolutely blew me away. It blew my mind. I can't tell you how thankful I am and how much I appreciate everyone, that watches my videos, engages with the content and the channel, and, is part of this movement, and as a result of that, this channel, this community has grown quite fast. And, we're only just getting started, guys. This is just the beginning. Being able to share my journey and my progress with you and share all the strategies and techniques and tips and tricks I've been using to grow my business, and hearing from so many of you that, have been following along and using the advice in the videos and, have been getting great results is really quite humbling and something that I'm super, super proud of, However, what really gets me super excited about all of this, and for, everyone who's on this journey with me, is what I like to call, the free freedoms of building a brand on Etsy using print-on-demand products. And you're probably thinking, what do I mean by the free freedoms of building a business on Etsy using print-on-demand? And these are 3 pillars or principles that, I believe motivate us, the community, the channel, and drive us to do what we do. And I believe they're also the biggest opportunities of building and growing a brand on Etsy right now. The first freedom so many of us are working towards is freedom to be your own boss. It wasn't so long ago that I was trapped working in a dead-end role at a call center. I can remember feeling so fed up of clocking in at the same time every day, counting down the minutes from Monday morning until Friday, when, I would finally get a couple of hours or a couple of days of freedom. It almost felt like a prison sentence at times. I remember I would sit down every evening and, I would imagine the feeling of not having to get up at the crack of dawn, and, imagine the feeling of not having to commute into work the next morning. I'd sit there for hours sometimes just daydreaming my ideal day. It got to the point where one day I just knew I needed to make this a reality instead of just a pipe dream. And from, interacting with you guys, I know many of you are in a job you hate, and, you really want to replace this with, an income online, doing something you enjoy, on your own terms, or, at the very least you want some, extra income so that you're not completely reliant on your day job. If you're like me, which I know many of you are, you hate the thought of being trapped in a job working for someone else for the rest of your life. And, you want to live life on your own terms, and you want to do it while you're still young, rather than, waiting until retirement. When you run your own Etsy business, it's yours. You own it. You've got no one to answer to. The only one you answer to is yourself. And I'll put it this way. What would you do with your day if you no longer had to go into your 9 to 5? I used to daydream about what I do. Perhaps you would be the type of person that spends more time with their family and friends. Perhaps you would be the person that takes that dream vacation you've always waited for. Or perhaps you would, want to spend more time with your kids. This isn't a pipe dream, and this can really happen. There's loads of Etsy sellers that are doing it. You only have to look at the dozens of stores on Etsy Rank or eRank now, making thousands of sales each year to see that. And I'm someone that believes that if someone else can do it, there's no reason why you can't do it too. The second freedom that I see a lot of us are on this journey for is financial freedom. This is the potential to make as much money as you set out to. When you work for yourself online, there really isn't a ceiling, to the amount you can earn. Unlike this small salary increases you might be lucky to see with most jobs, making money online with Etsy is not restricted to the hours you work. Sales can literally be made while you sleep. And there's really isn't a limit to this. I've told you about the time in this video where all I wanted to do was, work for myself. But, there was a time of my life before this that was much, much worse. I was just out of uni. I was broke. I had no money. I stupidly got myself into debt on credit cards and loans. And, I didn't have a home to go back to all the time. And, I ended up couch surfing for months at a time. I was lucky enough that I never had to sleep on the streets, but, the worry was always there. And, I always felt like a burden to my friends and people who put me up. And, I'm not saying this as a, a sob story, just that I understand what it's like to really, really need money. I'd never have believed back then that I'd be here in this nice apartment, in my office, working from home and, not having to worry all the time about, paying my bills or going out for dinner. So basically what I'm trying to say is that whatever situation you're in right now, it's completely possible to turn it around. And financial freedom is not just about the physical possessions, you can buy. Sure, that's great, but, it's even more about the other things that come with it. Waking up every day and feeling confident and proud and not having to worry about or stress about supporting yourself and your loved ones. This is possible. I've received countless messages from, my students and people on the channel who are working towards financial freedom. This student in particular, that was part of one of my courses, made over $10,000 at the time they sent this message, which is absolutely amazing. And this was within a couple of months of joining, the community, which was awesome to see. This is more than some people make in a whole year, which is absolutely amazing. The third freedom I see so many of us are after is location independence. And, this is such an important motivation for me. And, I feel like many of our people that watch this channel, the great thing about building an Etsy store using print on demand as a business model is that you don't need a warehouse for all your products. You're not even tied to an office. All you need is a laptop and an internet connection. Whether that's, the park, coffee shop, your sofa, like I do, or, while you're on holiday, if you've got a wireless connection, you can actually work from anywhere. I never imagined I've been able to go to all the places, I've been able to visit since, I started working for myself. At the beginning of this year in particular, my girlfriend and I were able to go to our dream vacation, which was Iceland. And we have plans to visit Rome and Spain later this year without the fear of, missing out on work. Again, I'm not saying any of this to brag, but just to give you an idea of what's possible. These three freedoms are exactly what drive me every single day to get out of bed and keep on working on my Etsy business. I'd love to know if these three freedoms are what motivate you too. I'd love to know which one of these three freedoms motivates you the most. Please leave your comment below. Let me know. If you resonate with these three freedoms, then I have some awesome news for you. On July the 8th, I'm going to be launching my live Etsy Advanced workshops, and I'm going to be taking a handful of new students and showing them and teaching them live exactly how to build their Etsy stores to new heights and how to expand their stores beyond Etsy to grow their businesses massively using print-on-demand products. It's going to contain everything I'm doing right now, everything I'm putting in place to grow my Etsy business to 7 figures. I'm super, super excited about this. I've been planning this for a while now, and I'm looking forward to working really closely with the people in these workshops. However, due to this, I'm only looking to work with a handful of new students, so spots will be limited. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you click the link below this video and put your name on the early bird waiting list. Everyone on the early bird waiting list will get access to the registration link the night before I open up spots to the public. Due to the the amount of people that are interested in this, the amount of people that have already signed up to the early bird and waiting list, I may not even open spots to the public. So if you want any chance of getting a spot on this, make sure you place your name on the early bird waiting list. Links in the description below this video. Keep hustling, and I'll see you in the next one.